Did you know that up to 40% of people who do Kegels do them incorrectly? This is a big deal because it doesn't just mean you don't get the benefits from doing Kegels, it can worsen symptoms such as incontinence, urgency to use the bathroom, prolapse, and pain during intimacy. In this video, I'll walk you through how to do a Kegel correctly and how to avoid the most common mistakes people make when trying to do them. Later in the video, I'll also show you how to do an often forgotten about but essential component of Kegels. First, make your way into sitting. Before you can do a Kegel, you must adopt a good sitting posture. Gently move your bottom cheeks out of the way so you're sitting right on top of your sit bones. Make sure your ribs are stacked above your pelvis and you're nice and long through the crown of the head. The next thing is to focus on your breath to relax and find length through the pelvic floor. So place your hands on your lower abdomen. I want you to take a breath in through the nose and then just gently exhaling out through the mouth. Take another breath in and you'll feel the lower abdomen rise into your hands, and then as you exhale, you'll feel a natural squeeze and lift through the pelvic floor. I don't want you to actively squeeze and lift yet, I just want you to feel the natural recoil. So again, taking a nice breath in, abdomen rises, and then exhaling out through the mouth. Inhale again as your pelvic floor melts onto the chair, and then exhaling out through the mouth, keeping length through the pelvic floor. So it is important to make sure that your inner thigh, your bottom, and your lower abdomen does remain nice and relaxed, as we're really just trying to connect with the pelvic floor. Now the pelvic floor is relaxed, let's focus on performing a Kegel. First, you need to find a cue that works well for you and gives you that squeeze and lift sensation in your pelvic floor. Different cues work for different people, so I'm going to give you 3 cues to try. Choose whichever of the 3 cues works best for you in terms of giving you that squeeze and lift sensation. For the first cue, I want you to take that nice inhale breath through the nose, and then as you exhale, think of lifting your labia off the chair and into the vagina. And then inhale, relax. Now don't worry, if you didn't feel the squeeze and lift, let's try the next cue. So take that nice inhale breath again as the pelvic floor relaxes, and then as you exhale, imagine you're sucking a blueberry up a straw into your vagina, and then inhale, release. The last cue I will give you is on the next exhale, try to stop yourself from passing wind as you draw your anus towards the back of your pubic bone, and then inhale, relax, and let the pelvic floor melt back onto the chair. Once you've chosen your cue that works best for you, it's time to move on to the next step. So start with a nice inhale breath, feel the lower abdomen rise, and then as you exhale, squeeze and lift through the pelvic floor as you continue to breathe. 3, 2, 1, and then inhale, relax the pelvic floor back onto the chair. Let's try that again. So inhale, release the pelvic floor, sit bones widen, and then on that exhale, feel that squeeze and lift. Keep squeezing and lifting as you continue to breathe for 3, 2, 1, and then inhale, relax. Again, always make sure that your bottom, your inner thigh, and your abdomen are nice and relaxed. You want to keep aiming for the 5 to 2nd holds and slowly progressing to 10-second holds 3 times a day. Always make sure that the pelvic floor is relaxed completely between each repetition. The next part is often forgotten about when performing Kegels, but it's so essential. These are the fast on-off contractions. This type of strength training helps prevent leaking urine when you laugh, cough, sneeze, or exercise. Here's how to do it. Remember, the first focus is always finding length through the pelvic floor first. So just do a nice couple of belly breaths like before, just breathing into the lower abdomen as well as the rib cage, and then exhaling out, just melting the pelvic floor onto the chair. Once you have done a couple of breaths and you have found the length through the pelvic floor, now it's time to have a go at fast on-off contractions, aiming for about 10 reps. So inhale as you prepare, and then exhale, think of that squeeze and lift, and keep breathing normally as you squeeze, lift, release, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. And then nice inhale breath into the lower belly, relaxing the pelvic floor, back onto the chair, finding length. So you do want to complete the 10 fast on-off repetitions and try and do that at least 3 times a day. So those are the steps to follow to do a Kegel correctly. Another way to ensure that you're doing a Kegel correctly throughout your day is to make simple adjustments to the way you move, particularly in those early stages postpartum. I have a free guide in the description below where I go into more detail on how to move to ensure you're using your core as a unit, which will avoid injuries such as lower back or pelvic pain. Feel free to click on the link and check it out. I do want to stress that even when done in perfect form, Kegels aren't for everyone. In some cases, they can do more harm than good, particularly for people who have an overactive pelvic floor. So this is known as a hypertonic pelvic floor and can include symptoms such as pelvic pain. This can be during or after intercourse, sexual stimulation or orgasm, difficulty emptying or pain with bowel movements. You can have UTI-like symptoms without a UTI, such as frequency to use the bathroom and urgency to go to the bathroom. Difficulty feeling that squeeze and lift through the pelvic floor because they're already tight and overactive to begin with. And also a sensation of itchiness, burning, numbness, and pain in the saddle region. If you have any of these symptoms, make sure you check this video out next, where I go through how to perform a reverse Kegel to relax and lengthen your pelvic floor to relieve those symptoms I just mentioned. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.